Hello, and welcome to the Skol v Grit Show, where we cover all things Vikings and Lions. I am your host, Hans, joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Mr. Joe Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, tip top, my man, and lovely. What a sweet way to introduce me. Thank you, sir.
I know, right? It felt a little weird to be nice to you like that. It's uncomfortable to ever show any type of affection to anyone, man, woman, child, doesn't matter.
Certainly not your friends. What are you?
No, God, no. That's the last people I want to know that I care about them.
I will hug a homeless man on the street before I tell a buddy I like his shoes.
The way God intended.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are really in the dead zone for football. I've said it before, but we really picked the worst fucking time to start a football show.
Is it because we're marketing geniuses?
Yeah, exactly. We really have our finger on the pulse of everything NFL related. We do have the UFL going on.
I saw some of that Saturday.
I was watching it this week. I think I tweeted something like watching the UFL like a junkie scraping resin. Because it's just like it's the best I got. But that's fine. We have our little draft hangover. I mean, we love the draft. We went pretty in deep on that. Our main topic today will be covering draft grades, and I have some strong feelings about that. I assume you either do or don't. It's 50-50.
I do, but probably not the way you think.
Yeah, before we get that, though, do you have any lingering thoughts or feelings or ideas on that we may not have covered on our last show about your team's haul or undrafted free agents or anything of that nature, or any breaking news, any contract extensions or what have you?
Yeah, the big ones are obviously the Lions picking up the 5th-year option on Hutch and JMO, which.
That's just a formality, right?
Right. I'm not a locker room insider, but I'm like, yeah, I think they're gonna.
Yeah, that was probably gonna happen. Yeah, the best edge rusher in football, not named Myles Garrett, and maybe he's better than him because he was on pace to be better than him last year till he got hurt.
Yeah, he's a wild man, but like it does tell you just how time flies, and like it made me feel a little old. And I go on their 5th-year option.
I know it does feel like they just drafted him.
In my head,
and it was like, is he going to work out? The whole conversation. Yeah, I think it worked out. I think he did.
Well, we're going to give that a win to Brad. So
yeah, chalk it up. Chalk another one up.
Those two, it's so weird. And with Jameson, it was so weird because there's all this like online chatter about how he's unhappy in Detroit, and Detroit thinks he's immature. Then like all the Instagram sleuths go in, and he's got.
I love that when it's like they unfollowed the team on Instagram or they unfollowed their quarterbacks. Like, fucking get a life.
It's so funny because they're like, yeah, and then he tweeted loyalty above everything. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, it's like dating the 12th grader, 11th grader. Like,
yeah. I also wonder, like, how, I mean, I'm sure it's real, them people just being emo. But I also wonder if how many of the dudes who do that are just like, watch this shit. Like, because that's what I do, like it's just to fuck with people because it'd be funny.
Well, it's crazy that like the, actions of social media of a 20-year-old can send like the entire.
I know.
Into a tizzy.
They just break grown men's minds.
And at that point, if you have the power, you kind of owe it to everyone to do it.
That's what I mean. Like if I could make a bunch of like 40-year-old douchebags lose their fucking shit for like a cryptic nothing tweet, I'd do that all the time.
I would if I was like Justin.
It'd be hilarious, and I'd like tell my teammates, be like, "Watch this, guys. Watch this shit."
They're gonna spaz.
Yeah, watch when I unfollow you. Watch everyone explode. Their brains are gonna be mush.
Apparently, that's a little of what was going on because he's back. He's happy. Everyone's signed. All right, I'm into it. We did. You were talking to unrestricted free agents.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
UDFAs. Minnesota is like the king of UDFAs.
Yeah, who'd you guys?
They realized a few years ago that you can just pay these guys an extra like $10,000 than anyone else is going to pay them, and that you can get like 5 extra 7th round picks essentially.
That's what I was looking at, because usually you think about it like, in college you go, there's preferred walk-ons and then there's walk-ons. And
Right.
then you think this one is like, wait a minute, a lot of these guys look really good.
Yeah, this year was a big year for that, just because we had like the COVID years and like all of that. We're finally getting to the end of it, where you had guys that played for like 8 years.
All the benefits of COVID. We
Yeah, I know. Rarely talked about, but
it's a real bad rap.
I know. Well, yeah. Why doesn't anyone talk about the positives?
Sorry about
getting a UDFA running back that would have gone in the 5th round. I mean, yeah, hundreds of thousands of people are dead, but the value.
I was gonna say, why you gotta be a negative Nelly? The glass is half full.
It's so half full.
Respirator, smashberator. We've got undrafted free agent running backs out of Boston College.
Sorry, Grandma. You lived a good life.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, like Minnesota has a rich history of that. I mean, well before like Adam Thielen's probably the best example of it.
Oh, the legend. Even people that don't like Minnesota know that story.
Yeah, but I mean that's before this current regime's time. But I mean, you got guys like Ivan Pace, who was a couple of years ago a UDFA and started like immediately.
It's wild, and like just even if you just get special teams killers, it's so worth it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a whole phase of the game. Like Minnesota was apparently wanted to get Brock Purdy as a UDFA, but the 49ers heard that and they picked him the very last pick of the draft.
Famously.
So yeah, I mean you can there's value out there. Like sometimes we miss. Like sometimes people miss.
But what a great way to like low risk, high reward. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, and that was like the cheat code that Minnesota was like, we'll give what, $20,000 more? Because who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
I was nothing. And yeah, they probably won't, but when they do, or if they do, eventually someone will. You fire enough bullets, one's gonna hit the target.
Oh, I loved it. It's so interesting to me. I was shocked, like, in the $1 billion business. Like, what do you make?
Yeah, that's the penny pinching time.
Yeah.
Like, that's when we're gonna do it. That's 8 hot dogs
at
a game.
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing? Like now you're gonna get cheap. Like, well, okay.
Do you think it'd be higher though, the prices for them? It's not, bro.
No. Well, I think it's going. I honestly don't know the structure of it. I just know Minnesota kept outbidding people, but like not free agent outbidding. I'm talking like tens of thousands of dollars, not millions. Tens.
I was looking at these guys are getting like guaranteed, and I was like, oh, I hate seeing that word. And they're like, 20 grand. I go, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And then Minnesota would just come in and be like, we'll just give you 30 because who gives a fuck? Like, who cares? That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. To get a guy that might contribute in some way, shape, or form. I mean, okay.
You guys bring anyone in that you're kind of curious about?
They got what was his name? This tackle from Kansas. His name escapes me at the moment. He was a guy that, I mean, consensus big boards, whatever. Like a lot of people had him, maybe even like 5th round. Like he's like an athletic freak that just hasn't quite put it together yet. I like stuff like that. I think they got the Texas punt returner, Silas something. He's like 5'8", like a tiny little dude, but
wheels.
Yeah, but he's shifty and fast. So
I know him from jacking us up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they got some of the higher rated ones, but they just always do. I mean, there's the the NFL like survey, like internal survey of like facilities and like they grade everything.
Right.
Minnesota's like at the top of that. Like that shit helps too, It's like we're gonna pay you more, and then we also have like our players clearly love being here. They think it rules. Like we have facilities, we have coaches, we have opportunity. Like, okay, and we're gonna pay you more. Yeah,
it's an overlooked part of the culture. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they go the Patriot way. Well, like I remember when Cuban got to the Dallas Mavericks, and he's like, "What are these young guys like?" And he's like, well, we're gonna make mahogany wider lockers. You're gonna have your
Yeah.
own space. Everyone's got their newest Xbox. Everything's
Yeah.
This is a place you want to go. We fly fucking private.
Right.
Like,
And those are small, like in the grand scheme of this $1 billion industry, to throw an extra 10 grand, 100 grand to like put your locker room better, to get good food, to
yep.
get the best training staff. Those are peanuts compared to paying a quarterback 50-60 million dollars a year. It's nothing to upgrade all these things, and it's not negligible. Like that matters to people, because why wouldn't it?
Well, 100%. Like if you're looking, and let's be honest, neither Minneapolis or Detroit are going to be destinations.
Right, they're not exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not. There's no mountains and there's no beach.
I don't know. I've heard Detroit referred to as the South Beach of the North. Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, so it is out there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, those aren't like they're. Yeah, you think Miami sells itself. You don't have to. You have to do a whole lot with that. LA sells itself, and New York does too, if you're into that kind of thing. But yeah, you get it. I mean, who wants to go to fucking Cleveland?
Was that a real question?
I don't know. I mean, the answer is nobody. Like, why the fuck would you?
You got Drew Carey and Mark Elo, and that's it.
Drew Carey.
That's it.
Cleveland does rock, according to the Drew Carey show.
I have been told. I've yet to see it.
Yeah, I think that might not be true. I think that might just be some Hollywood liberal lies.
Oh no!
Not to get political.
Well, they call your town the Mistake on the Lake.
It's so mean, but
I grew up in Detroit, and I'm throwing stones.
I would much rather spend time in Detroit. Like, Detroit's fucking underrated. Like, the way you have your, I know, tangent, the way you have your professional sports set up is perfect. Like, it's all right next to each other.
It's magnificent. And
like, and then right in between that, just a casino chilling.
A couple.
You get the people mover. You're anywhere, everywhere. It's all right there. It's Detroit for sports is an absolute delight.
Oh, I love it. And it wasn't always like that, but they did it right.
Yeah, they worked at it. They tried. Like, they made a concerted effort, and success.
Yeah, there was a time when you had the Lions in Pontiac, the Pistons in Auburn Hills, the Red Wings were at least at the Joe, and then, of course, Tiger Stadium's Tiger Stadium. But, Pontiac and Auburn Hills ain't Detroit.
Right. Yeah, it's like the San Francisco 49ers that play. They're closer to San Jose than San Francisco. They're not the San Francisco 49ers. They're not.
I remember going to Levi's Stadium back in the day, and I was like, wait, where the hell are we going?
Yeah, it's so far away. It's legit closer to, because I used to live out there. I was just like, what are we doing? Why are you doing this? This isn't San Francisco, man. It's just not.
Oh my God. I took the subway, or it's not the subway because it's elevated, whatever. I think it's called the BART.
Yeah, the BART in San Francisco. It's BART.
Yeah, my buddy and I and his wife, we took it and left our San Francisco little enclave, and it will drop you right off at the Oakland Stadium back in the day.
Oh yeah, the best seats I've ever had at any baseball game ever was when I lived out there. I went to an A's game in the old Coliseum. God, that's a piece of shit.
Oh, I have no love for
$70. I was 4 rows behind home plate. I just went by myself because I was like, I'll never be able to sit this close in a major league stadium.
Like, it's incredible.
In the better seats for this amount of money.
We got on the BART in San Francisco, and I'm sitting there and I'm dressed I didn't even wear Lions gear because we're going to the Raiders game. I wore a Honolulu blue sleeves and a gray, the old 70s softball uniforms,
Yeah.
Just that, no team name, nothing. Playing it safe, but still not trying to be a complete bitch. And we got on with all the professionals and everything, and I'm drinking out of a pint. And I'm like, man, we are the homeless people of this train. And then we get every stop we got closer. I was like, we are the coolest people on this train.
Yeah. I was gonna say I could talk a long time about homeless people in San Francisco. People talk about New York. San Francisco's a different beast.
San Fran was next level. I had to do because the BART was confusing, to a simple Midwesterner. I was like, well, this is like a confusing schedule. And this dude's like, yo, you got a problem? And I was like, I don't think so. And he goes, I can help you solve that. And I was like, oh, cool. Tell me how to do it, Good Samaritan. He's like, for $10. I was like, I'll probably be able to figure out public transit.
I have a fun. This is wildly off topic, and I swear to God, we're gonna get to these draft grades. My first day working in San Francisco, I had to go to work at like 2:30 in the morning because I was doing finance and I had to do an international, so which is insane to do it.
Hans, is it true money never sleeps?
It does never sleep. That's what the movies told me. That's what Charlie Sheen told me. But I was walking to work, and this is when I decided it was time to take an Uber every morning, which I ended up doing, even though it was a 5-minute Uber. I was I was about to walk into my building at about 2 in the morning, and locked eyes with a non-home person who was giving himself the business, and we met eyes, and he took part of my soul.
You're part of his experience now.
Yeah, that was so upsetting. Yeah, that's when I was like, you know what? I don't care if it destroys my Uber rating to take a 2 a.m. 5-minute $4 Uber every single morning. I'm doing it. This can't go on.
As breaking points go, I will not fault you for that.
This is real upsetting. I still hadn't had all the Iowa beaten out of me at that point, so I was still like wide-eyed.
Great word choice.
Yep, and that's contributed to why I'm so dead inside. So, draft grades.
Let's roll.
Jesus Christ, all over the place. Draft grades. All right, I'm fascinated by draft grades. I think I'm going to do this because I'm like, someone needs to do this, so why not be fucking me? There's Arif Hassan, who's a great football writer. He used to cover the Vikings for The Athletic. Now he has his own wide left, I think it's called website, whatever. He does a consensus draft board. Like, so he takes, everyone's mock drafts and their draft boards and combines it. So then, like, which is a great idea. And then you get a better feel of what, instead of just looking at one or two, you have all this information of like all these people looking at it and where they fall. And it's a little better gauge of where players might go.
That makes sense. Look at you, my finance bro, doing analytics.
Right. Yeah, weird.
I just like this time of year because I can do whatever I want. Like, so you want to find someone to give us an A? I got it. You want to give us an F? I got it.
Yeah, I think this is more because I think immediately after draft grades are a joke. They're nothing. Like, I get why they do it because they get clicks. People want to see that. They don't mean anything. You can't really tell what a draft class is for a couple of years. Like, you just can't. Not really. Like, so they're nothing. So it's funny to me. Mm-hmm. And I think it'd be funny to put all that effort and work into consolidating a consensus draft grade.
It's pretty great.
Because it means nothing. Like, because all draft grades are I mean, they're just people reinforcing what they already thought. Like, they're not saying anything. Because if they give you a bad grade, it's because they had this player, that player did lower on their board than when they were taken.
Yeah, you're going off.
And that's assuming you're right.
Yeah.
And there's some really good draft analysts, but there's a lot of hacks. Like, that I'm fairly confident that a lot of them just look at other people's and they're like, yeah, that's where I got that. I don't think they actually watch a lot of film. Or if they do, maybe they don't know what they're talking about. There are plenty of good ones. Don't get me wrong.
Well, it's funny because in this age, it's the easiest it's ever been to watch film on people and for anyone. I mean, it's
all there.
I can do it.
For like $15, you can get like the all 22s.
Yeah.
Like, it's out there.
But with that, the rise of information becomes the rise of just the dumbest shit on earth. Like,
right. Okay. It gets perpetuated. Like, I think a lot of the lower tier people, well, not all, like, that's not even fair. But there are a number of people that are hacked, but there's a lot of people doing good work.
Very true.
But the draft grades, they're nonsense. They don't mean anything. But that's why we're going to talk about them.
All right, let's kick some shit. What's your favorite? What's your least favorite?
Okay, so I compiled What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different places. ESPN, PFF, The Athletic, Fox Sports, and NFL.com.
Okay. So I
And
went through Athletic. I went from NFL.com. Those are the two I checked.
I want to start with The Athletic for both of our teams.
Why you do?
It's real funny. D- for the Vikings, F for the Lions.
Hard F.
F. Okay, Minnesota's grades were pretty low across the board. Honestly, like if you averaged out all of these, we probably both had like a C- average.
That's what I came up with too.
Minnesota always kept getting dinged because they had the least amount of draft picks. I feel like you need to grade on a curve, like for what they did with the ones that they had. Like if you don't like what they did, that's fine. But to be like, I graded them this low because they had 5 picks instead of 10. Like that's nothing. You're saying nothing, right? Like,
yeah, it's the exact.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you got to grade on a curve. It's like, did they do the best they could with the picks that they had?
Well, speaking,
I mean, that's what a grade should be. I mean, I'm arguing about something that isn't anything. This doesn't matter. This is nothing. It's an arbitrary assignment of ranking from people that maybe I do or do not respect.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of the Atlantic, they went into great detail about how on their board, like every pick we had was a reach.
Right. It's all just like jerking yourself off. It's like, well, we know better. We know better than these professionals who make 6 figures, 7 figures, that do this for a living and who eat, sleep, and breathe watching film.
Not to mention,
but you know what? I watched 2 games of this guy. No, they were wrong.
Well, when it comes in regards to our teams, respectively, like these are guys that are doing it at a high level over multiple years. And
right.
Like, you know what I was thinking? That guy that got all these great picks before? F.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like to give, like Minnesota, like Kwesi for Minnesota, their general manager, he hasn't had, his first draft was like abysmal. Like there's not like a single guy on the roster that he drafted back in like 2022. Like that was like an all-time terrible draft. But so he doesn't have the same, like your organization has shown that they know what they're doing.
Even in spite of whatever the draft grades that come out, and listen, hand up.
Yeah, the product on the field speaks for its fucking self.
There you go. I did it a couple
what
times.
What Kwesi's killed it with is free agency and like identifying players that are undervalued and signing them to lower than what they're actually worth, and then having them become like, I mean, look at Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel. Like they and Brian Cashman even like last year. Those were not marquee free agents.
No, but look how
much about them. But then we got like an All-Pro, a second team All-Pro, like Pro Bowl, all around the board. Like, okay, yeah, he finds he's good at that. Maybe, and then his drafting. Well, last year is kind of a wash because JJ hurt. You don't know, and then their other first round pick, Dallas Turner. Well, he had Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel, a first and second team All-Pro, in front of him. So, and he's 21 years old. He's like one of the younger people in the draft. So, yeah, okay. He didn't do anything because how could he? How could he? Yeah, so you can't even like judge like, and all they gave up, and you're gonna ding them for this year. Well, they gave up a lot of this year's picks for last year's draft, which is still an incomplete because we just don't know. It's a TBD.
It does make me laugh though. It's any fan anywhere can just go shop with the grade they want. And
right. Well, that's what it is.
I'm guilty of it.
Oh, of course. Although there's certain guys I'm like, I want you to, like, we've talked about this before, like the Yahoo fantasy draft. Like when they give me a bad grade, I'm like, I'm about to win this fucking
championship.
Yeah. And I feel that way about a handful of that we'll talk about. I don't know what went into the Athletic.
I read it. It was like every.
I mean, I don't know like who all did it. It was just like the Athletic staff, you know.
Right.
So I don't know who put it together. There's not one singular name put on it, and I actually like the Vikings. Alec Lewis does the beat for the Athletic for the Vikings. And he's quite good. I don't know, but I have no idea if he had anything to do with it.
Okay.
But F for you is like that's really insane. D minus, whatever, maybe, I don't know. Like, I wasn't impressed by anything Minnesota did. They filled a gigantic need. I think it was the first pick was good, and the rest, I don't know, whatever. It's third, fifth, sixth, and set. Like, who cares? Whatever.
But coming
That
off
might
your
be something.
excitement-
It might not. Who gives a shit? But you guys have been doing it year after year after year. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe you know what the fuck you're doing.
I love it. Like the little grace, and they're like, nah.
Yeah, that's what bugs me about these grades. It's like people will shit on Minnesota, like, oh, that was a reach. Well, was it though? It filled a need. It also gave you insurance for other positions on the line, and it was there was a run. Like, it doesn't take into account the fact that there was a run on that position, and that guy was the last of the top tier. So yeah, maybe you had him at 35 or 40, and they took him at 24, but he was it, and he was going to go the pick next after you. So, like, what do you want them to trade down and then reach for somebody? Like,
Well,
is that better? Like, that's what happened. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny to me because well, they filled this need, but it was a reach, and I'm like, do you know how this works? Like,
yeah, it's not taking a lot. So many of those little blurbs, like, and I get it. It's content. It's a machine. They have to do this, but it's just such a gross misunderstanding of what's actually happening and like the reasoning behind it.
What's funny is I kind of respect the Athletic, but then they gave me an F, and I was like, you know what? Fuck the Athletic.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I don't even hate them giving Minnesota D minus. Like, fine. Like, if you thought that was a reach, okay, you didn't watch what was happening that night. That okay. And then you say the rest of the draft was bad, which I don't know if it was, but okay, those were 100 plus 100 slots. Like, yeah, who fucking knows? Those are flyers.
That's where I am as well.
But for a franchise like you like the Lions, and I obviously have no love for the Lions. You know
I'm
that.
aware.
We all know that. But to say that they fucked up, like they failed, is categorically wrong.
I love it.
Because they're good at what they fucking do.
That's it. I find it great.
You see the last 5 years? What have they done?
You see the people tweeting.
They made banger after banger pick.
They go, I'm in a worry when they started agreeing with Brad Holmes. And I was like, whoa, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. That just feels like, what bugs me about that is it just like, why are you able to do what you do if you don't know what you're fucking talking about? Like, for a reputable source, like if you're on some fucking blog or YouTube channel just saying inflammatory shit because that gets clicks, because it doesn't get clicks to go, yeah, it was fine. Like, if you do a movie review channel and you just say a movie's fine, like, no one gives a shit. It has to be the best movie or the worst fucking abortion of all time. Like, but most movies are just fine.
That's what I was saying. Like, with us and what we're doing, like, I'd kind of just rather tell the truth.
Well, yeah. Like, I'm going to get angry from time to time, but like, if you fake it, I mean, what is that? First of all, it's not interesting to me.
No, it's not.
And you're going to feel it if I'm yelling and screaming about this, that, or whatever, and I don't really believe it, you're going to feel it. Like, you may not recognize it, but you're going to feel it. And that also means when I get loud, I actually like pay attention. I might have a point. I mean, I might be completely fucking wrong, but at least I mean it.
Well, let's move to a happier area because ESPN said we had a top 4 best draft.
You want to do ESPN? You want to go happier when we're going to talk about Mel Kiper?
Well, yeah, we can talk about his meltdown.
Mel Kiper, B- for Minnesota, which I hated because
I know how you feel.
That's reasonable. And he gave you a C+. So it's essentially the same thing.
Right.
Mel Kiper, I didn't watch the NFL draft coverage on ESPN because I can't, because they are full of those people who just scream and yell and I don't believe them. Like I can't watch a First Take. Like that's just so wildly uninteresting to me. Like it's nothing. It's nothing. And those guys it's like they cover these on the national scale, but they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, no,
They're just
not
the loudest.
on the microcosm aspect of it. Like, you get it. I get there's a producer in your ear. I get you're on Get Up and you've got to say something. Like, otherwise, but why
Yeah, I
not?
mean that's the job. Like I don't necessarily even fault the people for doing it because it's like it's lucrative. I mean, it's like when you get like a right wing grifter. It's like, yeah, you're poisoning people's minds, but you're making a shit ton of money. So, and if you're just a hack, like that's all the best you can do. And I feel that way about a lot of the national shows, like on the ESPN. It's like I think you're actually a hack and you don't actually know what you're talking about. But
Oh, I
hey,
find
man,
this to be
you're getting your
unwatchable.
bag, so I guess.
I find it to be unwatchable rubbish. However, if you guys are looking to fill the A block next week, hit me up. I'll get up.
Yeah, I mean, I do get that. Like, just saying something's fine. That doesn't. How do you put that in a thumbnail?
I guess you don't.
You know, like it's just the world we're in. But I have no interest in that. Like Mel Kiper, like I've some of the people because if you want real information about your team, follow your local beat writers.
Great advice. We give it
That's what you
day
need
on
to
this
do.
podcast.
Don't listen to ESPN. Don't listen to Fox Sports. None of this bullshit. Follow your local beat writer for your Star Tribune, your local paper, your the Athletic. Well, at least I know the Athletics Vikings beat writer is good. I can't speak to the other ones, but I would assume that they're probably pretty good too.
I assume they're well respected. I'm just not
Yeah,
athletic. So
yeah. But then when you go to this broader bullshit, because broad is never interesting.
true.
It's just not. Like you want to hit all four quadrants. Well, fuck you. That's nothing. Then you're doing nothing.
Well, I guess in the specifics of it, like apparently we're top 10 in relative athletic score for our entire class. Everyone we drafted is in that top 10.
Whereas, yeah, Minnesota went that way this year too, which is interesting because they hadn't done that in the past.
Yeah, I saw the article about it. And it's like, so wait, you want bigger, stronger, faster guys? I go, all right.
Yeah, see, that's interesting information.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are these
It's like,
guys at their
do you
position?
trust your coaching staff to be able to unlock, like, maybe they didn't have a lot of production in college, but they're freakishly gifted athletically. Can you coach that up? Can you do something with that? Can you get them to reach their fullest potential?
Yeah, it's exciting.
I mean, once you get past like the third round, I feel like you might as well just do that. Unless
Yeah.
unless you're like a team on the edge that's like, we just need a special teams gunner. Like, if you're trying to fill holes like that, I also don't have an issue. But I mean, there's so many assumptions being made with these grades of like, I understand what this organization's doing. No, you don't. You don't. Like, because they're all said so confidently. It's like, this is way too high for this. But look at the team structure. Like, I know you didn't do that because you had to write 32 of these little things. I know you didn't do that. Of course you didn't.
That's
So
exactly.
why fucking would you? You got to get up and scream about nothing for 2.5 hours.
Bro, the ESPN's taking a beating on this podcast.
I'm just so sick of them. Like, I won't watch it. It's just so uninteresting.
No, it's
like I watch my like local teams. Like I love Matthew Collar, he used to work for like the local paper there, and then like with downsizing, he got like cut out, and he just was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do my own thing," and he started this thing called Purple Insider. It's great. It's fantastic. He has guys from PFF on, guys from CBS Sport, like because he knows all these people. And credit to Minnesota, they still let him keep his like press credentials, even though he's not part of like a paper. They're like, yeah, you're fine. Like you can still go in the locker room, come press conferences. We'll involve you in all that. But like he knows what he's fucking talking about. Like find those guys. Don't listen to this bullshit.
That is great advice. Get your beat writers, see what's going on.
Yeah, they're always going to steer you in a better direction. Because I mean, I don't want to like give people an out. saying that if you're going to cover all 32 teams, you can't possibly know the ins and outs. That's just not true. Because like Steve and Sam, who used to be with PFF, who went over to the 33rd team, they knew the ins and outs of every team and every roster. Like they did. That's why they got paid a shit ton of money to go to the 33rd team, even though they were the face of PFF. Like, because they knew what they were doing. Like, it's possible. And like Trevor Simica now and Dalton Wasserman, who are like now the replacements for them at PFF. And full disclosure, I do work for them. This is not affiliated with them, but yes, I do work for them. So I'm a little biased, but they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, there's guys that you respect in the industry.
Yeah, like they're not just saying shit to say shit. It's like it's coming from somewhere. It's coming from a place of I watched this, or I read this data, what have you.
Right, or someone within the org told me this. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
All right.
Frustrating.
Speaking to ESPN, you want to hear the teams? They had us as the 4th best draft. You want to hear who was in front of us?
I mean, Mel Kiper had an A+ for Cleveland because he was so on Shedeur Sanders' dick.
Was he? Did it ever come up?
Yeah. Again, I didn't watch that, but I talked about Matthew Collar, and he was like, it ruined the draft for me because he would not shut the fuck up about it. He said it a lot nicer than that, but like, yeah, like I get that. That's why I watch the NFL network, because it's Rich Eisen, and Rich Eisen's still good. Rich Eisen's like what you should shoot for. He does national stuff, but he doesn't make outlandish statements if he doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, it's extremely fortunate.
And a worst case scenario, he's funny, so he'll say something entertaining.
Oh, I love
if he doesn't have that information, he'll make a joke or something that you're like, okay, this is fun. I like this.
No, I'm an Eisen guy.
I love Eisen. He's one of the best to do it.
Is there as much time as you want to devote to Mel's meltdown? I know you hate him.
I just can't stand him because he's a hack. And like he can't accept that he was wrong. He was just wrong. And I mean that's full circle to these draft grades. You were wrong.
Didn't you tell me we were going to find out in 3 years?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all just people being like, no, I had him ready to hear, so this is a bad draft. Maybe you were wrong. Like maybe you weren't. We don't know yet, but I'm going to lean toward. I mean, it also depends on the organization. Like yours, plenty of information that we should all see to be like, maybe I don't see it. I don't get it. Trust you.
What was his most famous fuck up?
I mean, there's the Atlanta Falcons with terrible Terry Fontenot, who's just a fucking insane, terrible at his job guy.
Damn.
There are those, of course, but then there's like what you have. Like you're like Mount Rushmore right now, like with front office. Like you get it. You understand. They understand what they're doing.
That's why I'm excited for it, and that's why the F from the Atlantic doesn't hurt my feelings. Just like top 4 in ESPN doesn't.
And I mean, that's what it's. I mean, that's what they're doing. Like it's transparent. Like no one actually thinks that's like an F. I mean, an F is a fail. I mean, no one thinks that, right? Like no one really thinks that. I don't think they think that.
There has to be like a 12-year-old out there being like, "Oh, my Lions blew it."
Well, yeah, because that's what's so frustrating is because when you're a casual fan, like with a job and kids and mortgage and all this fucking shit, you don't have time to dive in. And the guy on ESPN says this, and you're like, I guess that's the thing. Because you don't have time to go do all, to figure out that they're nonsense. That's what annoys me. Because I do have the time.
Doing it for the people. What
That's
a public
right.
service.
Yeah, I mean, did you have more to say about ESPN?
No, just they thought a lot more of us than the Atlantic.
Yeah, they did. Fuck them, whatever.
Who's next?
What do we cover? The Athletic and ESPN?
Yep.
PFF, C- Minnesota, B-. You guys feel like that's about right?
I'll take it. I mean, I put a lot of weight to them just because they're kind of the gold standard.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
they're the Goldman Sachs of football analytics.
Right. Which, comes with its own baggage. But
Sure.
when you give me a B- as opposed to an F from the Atlantic, I'm inclined to be like, you know what? Those guys know what they're talking about.
It's not just like there's so much opinion that goes into most of these.
It has to, because there's no performance on the field.
Right. And with PFF, it's data driven. Almost fully.
Which is terrific.
I mean, that's like it's just like these are what the numbers say, man. Like it just is. Like you can disagree with how we get the numbers or what the numbers say, but the numbers are the numbers. If you either believe in their system or you don't.
And I do, especially when
it takes a lot of bias and opinion out of it, which is kind of crazy that they could be as successful as they have been without spouting off nonsense opinions, because that's just like what moves the needle.
But they have results, which
exactly.
It's
a track record of like, look,
exactly.
We're not always right because that's not possible, and then they're always like, I'm on the data side of things. They're always tweaking and like trying to get better. It's like maybe this wasn't the best way of evaluating, so we're gonna change it to this, and now we use this to quantify blah 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 blah. Whatever. I can't signed an NDA. I can't actually explain all these things, but like they're always trying to get better because they know it's not a perfect system.
No, which I appreciate, and if nothing else, I know they spent the time, which is enough for me.
And you don't even know how much actual time. Like there's so many different layers to each like end grade. There's so much that goes into it. Like it'd break your brain.
Oh, you told me a long time ago.
There's so much that goes into it. There's like so many different levels. Like how many different people look at a set of data and add to it and extrapolate on top of it and blah, blah, blah. It's fucking insane.
Well, you were talking to me a while back about like, hey, would you be interested in breaking down film? And I was like, well, what's that entail? And I go, what you said is so exhausting. It will take my love of football away.
Yeah.
No.
I know you have to be a psycho to like, which I am. I love this. Like, I can't get enough. Like I sit there and watch like an FCS game and like break down every single player on every single play on a Saturday night until 3 a.m. And I'm stoked about it.
Yeah. Something's wrong with you. But like, for the people listening, it's like, the old people that like keep score at the baseball game. Picture them on steroids.
That's a great analogy. My grandmother used to do that. We'd go to baseball games and she was doing the score.
Yeah.
She'd do that shit listening to games on the radio. I'd like come over and she's like got her fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where I get it from.
Love of the game, bro.
Yeah, and I respect it. What else we got? I guess we hit the big three, and it's Fox Sports, C for Minnesota, B- for the Lions. Fine, that's essentially what PFF did was C-, B-.
I feel like we're gathering a consensus here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both kind of had middle of the road drafts, but that goes back to the broader thought of like, yeah, maybe on the surface when you're not looking at roster construction, like what they need, like both of our teams have arguably some of the most talented roster in the league,
and accordingly fewest needs.
Exactly. So like if they spent their first round pick, maybe it was a little bit of a reach, but it was like their one glaring need.
Yeah.
Well, is that bad? No, that actually seems smart. That seems like what you should do. Right? And it's like, we have this one problem. The rest of our offense is elite, or our defense is elite, but we're missing a corner, we're missing a tackle, we're missing a guard, whatever. And that's the one missing piece, and that's what you did. I don't know. It seems like good roster construction to me.
It does, but what do I know? I just like winning.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing. Like we're not gonna. Both of our rosters are like. There's very few weak spots, like especially on offense. when you look at both of our teams, like really, like we each had a need at guard and we each filled it.
Exactly. And like they go, well,
And that
you
was about the
draft
only need
starters.
either of our teams needed on offense.
All right, draft starters day one. I go, where the fuck are you gonna put someone on this team?
Right.
You know, and we're not. By the way, we're good, so we're not in the top 10. So
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. So you're gonna be behind. Like, I mean, that's why like the Ravens get like a steal every year because someone always falls and they just snatch them up because they're always drafting the upper 20s.
I mean, I have the utmost respect for the way Baltimore drafts.
I agree. But I mean, but also they're just taking because someone always falls. Someone always falls. And they're just sitting there because they are a complete team. They're just like, I mean, same with Philly. They're just like, we'll just snatch up the best person that fell that should have gone 10 spots earlier. Okay, fine. Let's add another D tackle, an end, another pass rusher, another corner, another safety. What? Fuck, whatever. Who cares? We don't need it, but churn it.
Rinse, repeat. It does seem like, the same couple of franchises. You remember when Pittsburgh was like that?
Yeah, I know. Pittsburgh's in like this no man's land because they've made the playoffs like every year for like 20 fucking years. Like their streak is insane. But they're in that spot where they're never going to draft high enough to get someone to get them over the hump, because that's what always comes with like the competitive rebuild. That usually doesn't work.
I'm trying to think when I've seen it really work. I guess KC.
Well, that's what Minnesota is been saying they're doing for the last few years.
You guys have kind of pulled it off.
I mean, as long as JJ is what I think he is, they absolutely pulled it off. I did not think they could because I didn't think that was a thing. So it's like, you got to tank because you got to get up there. But last year was kind of like generational QB draft. Like, I think when we go back and look at it, there's going to be like 6 of the top like 10 quarterbacks for the next 10 years in that draft.
Yeah, and 2 in our own goddamn division. I'm really unhappy about it.
Well, this might make you feel bad. I'm still not a believer in Caleb, and I really don't. I think the world of Ben Johnson. I don't think that's a good mix.
See, I disagree with you. I think it's.
I mean, he might. If anyone can fix him, it's him or Kevin O'Connell.
Right.
And he has one of them.
Yep.
I just don't know if you can. Like, he doesn't play. Jared Goff is. You tell me what to do, I'm going to fucking do it, and I'm going to do it perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's what Ben Johnson wants. He wants you to do this, 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 and this. That's it. That's not Caleb. Caleb goes, I want to run around and do what the fuck I want to do.
Well, here's hoping it's dysfunctional.
Yeah, I just don't know. I love Ben Johnson. Like, I mean, I hate him, but I think he's stupid talented when it comes to running an offense.
All right.
I love my coach, but he's better at offense. Just on a straight X and O's, he's the best there is right now. Best there is. I don't know if he's a good head coach because those are not always translatable. But just as an offensive mind, he's the best in the NFL.
I'd agree with that. I mean, you got him. Obviously, your Andy Reid's, and there's a couple others.
Shanahan. Yeah, Sean McVay's and
McVay, Shanahan. They're all fighting for the top spot, but he's in that conversation.
Yeah, but they're all head coaches. But I'm just talking like offensive mind. Like, I don't know what he's gonna do. None of us do.
Well, he's an OC graduating to the big boy leagues. Do you remember in Days of Thunder when Colt rips that Rowdy's car around
the mellow car?
And he looks at him and he goes, "Now get your own car. Let's see how
Hardy's
you crowd."
Was it? It was the Hardy's, right?
He had Hardy's. He had Superflow, which, not being a car guy, is that even a real thing?
Well, that's the thing. You never know if it's going to translate because just because you're a great coordinator, being a head coach is such a different beast.
Oh, it's a different
There's
job.
so much more you have to fucking deal with. It's not just I'm coming up with the most awesome, innovative plays ever. Like you become like an administrator,
right?
You have to deal with all these fucking people and egos and everything.
Well, on a small level, it's like you were the best teacher. Everyone loved you. Now you're principal. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I mean, it's a totally different way of thinking, and like not everyone can do it. I mean, look at Josh McDaniels. He's a great offensive coordinator, but an absolute waste of a head coach. Like he keeps getting jobs and then he keeps going back to the Patriots and then he does
right.
well as their coordinator. But every time he gets a head coaching job, he's in a fucking disaster and he
Did we
destroys
talk
the
about this
franchise.
last time when I called him a boomerang? The
Probably.
Patriots throw him and then
Yeah.
wop, 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 wop,
Yeah.
back.
I mean, that's a whole like conversation of like Belichick disciples where it's like they all think there's one Belichick. Like like we talked about it earlier with like the way these days, the way you have to like deal with players and like social media and this and that, and like what's important to them. Belichick is like a holdover from a lost time where it's like I could just be an asshole and like yell at people to make them better. That
Right.
doesn't work these days. That does not fucking work. It still works with him because he has that he's because he is right and people will buy into it. And then his disciples like McDaniels and all the other motherfuckers, they try to be him and they're not.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
I
they
think
all.
I think their players feel that. It's like, well, I'm gonna let this guy treat me like shit when he doesn't know what like we're bad.
Well, we discussed it in nausea or ad nauseum here, and inauthenticity does not work. But as long as you brought up Belichick, any thoughts on his interview with his girlfriend?
Um, like I'm in like weirdly two camps with that because I
What
always think it's
okay.
weird when an old man dates a young woman.
Weird or awesome?
I, I don't think this is the case. Oftentimes, it feels predatory.
I get that, but also
I
like
don't think that's the case here
before an
because
analyst that
she's
says
got bigger balls than I will ever have.
I'm
Like she
all
knows
for it.
exactly because that's the thing I weigh back and forth is it's like am I putting something on like am I saying that this person can't make their own choices? Like yeah, when you're like 21, you're a fucking moron. I was a moron. Like
I,
you just
I was.
are. But there are some people who are mature enough to be like to have that be okay. For the most part, I think it's predatory when there's a big type of age gap. I don't think that is here. She's like on her fucking shit. She knows what she's doing.
Oh, she's clearly right.
Yeah, like she knows exactly what she's doing. There's no I don't think there's anything like that going on. So fuck it. They seem happy.
Well, I'm rooting for it. Unless we come off sexist, I like it when Cher bangs some young dudes. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
equal opportunity, man. Do you?
Oh, of course. You're famous. Like do what you gotta do. Like don't take advantage. I prefer you don't take advantage of people, but again, we're all adults. Like when is that number? Like when are we? When is it okay? It feels gross on the surface, but like actually seeing all that shit, she's more mature than I am. So
You know what I found more interesting than any of the power dynamics or the way it worked was Belichick's fucking shirt. It's unbelievable that my man knew. And you're like, well, yeah, it's CBS this morning. It's nationally televised. He goes, I'm going to wear this shirt that has visible holes in it.
he
And he's also not rocking like a bodybuilder body. Like, I get when they do that. He's just like
I
this.
get the feeling that he very much knows who he is now. Like, but like he was always like the grizzly, angry like football coach, but he's posing in like Instagram posts like that, your stereotypical like 20 something
Yeah.
woman will post
We'll
like
do some yoga.
living life, like like picture at the pool, like having a day, all that bullshit. And he's there fucking smiling. He's like, fuck it.
Ear to ear.
I don't give a shit. Like he seems happy. And again, she seems to understand everything and is happy too. So fuck it. It's weird. It seems weird on the surface, but I don't know. Two consenting adults, they seem to be having a good time.
I just wanted to put you on the spot with it. It made me laugh.
No, it's something I thought about for a while because, like I said, most of the time it's like when there's like a 30-year age gap, I'm like, you're probably a creep. But I don't know if that's the case here. Like, she seems to understand exactly what she's doing. I don't think he's taking advantage of her at all. Like maybe the other way around.
I was
honestly.
just gonna say that's not the vibe I
Like,
get.
and that I'm fine with. If you're 25 and taking advantage of a 40-year-old, fucking good for you. Good
Well,
job.
You heard it here first. Hans is cool
Yeah.
with elderly abuse as long as you're hot.
Oh
So,
yeah, if you're trying to be a creep on like 18-year-old girls and they're taking advantage of you, you fucking deserve it. Good.
interesting.
Fine
It's the
with
whole
that.
playbook I've yet to explore.
Totally fine with that.
All right.
I mean, I have no interest. I'm an old man. I couldn't date like a 20-year-old.
Well,
What
what
I
about the
say?
right one that told you what to do? I think you definitely need that.
I mean, if they had like the confidence and like understanding of the world that she does, because it seems to be even further than I will ever have. Like, yeah, but like I'm just talking like your regular
Oh, I get what you
human
meant, but it's
being.
more fun to say it my way.
Yeah. We have really gone off there.
All right. What else you got? Let's bring this baby home.
I think that's about it. Like NFL.com was like a B and a B. That's nothing. Fine, whatever, sure.
All right.
Chad
I was going to
Reuter,
ask you
great.
about this as long as we're wrapping up. These
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of minor things. But I saw Minnesota's sleeper pick. These guys got this Felton kid out of Maryland, the wide receiver.
Yeah. I questioned that when they made the pick, but more because I just didn't know. He wasn't on my radar. That doesn't mean anything. Because like if I'm gonna hold all these other people accountable,
Right.
like, I'm gonna have to hold myself. Like I just didn't.
Oh no, you're
I
telling
didn't
the
know
truth?
about him. I didn't watch anything he did. Like I saw his numbers, fast as shit. He ran like a 4.2, 4.3 or something.
And he's 6'2", bro.
Yeah, he's like from people. There's a few people like Thor Nystrom is I think is one of the best like media draft analysts out there. Also, his name's Thor, which is fucking awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, he's
right
a
next to
Vikings
Luther.
fan too. Like he works for like Matthew Berry's website and all that. He's very good, and I respect what he says. And I've heard this echoed. And that's the other thing. I don't know if I heard it from him first, and I wonder if like they
Right.
and echo it, and like because there's a lot of that with the draft people. But he was saying like he has like all the tools, but he's really bad at the catch point.
Is he right?
Like he's not good at like contested catches and like going after the ball and like. But if like you can clean that up, yeah, he could be because he seems to understand. Again, not from watching, just from people I respect, saying like he does seem to understand how to run a route. Like he does, he runs routes reasonably well from being in college, and he also has the track speed of like take the top off defense.
Right. Well, I'll put it this way: you had 9 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards at Maryland. I'm gonna check you out.
And I mean, who did? And no, not a human being on the planet outside of Maryland can name their quarterback.
Well, it used to be Tua's brother, which, by the way, I still can't name him. They just say it's Tua's brother.
Maryland's fucking fascinating because they had a lot of people go in the draft. They were like kind of like the last chance this year. They just kept like they'd find like flamed out 5 stars.
Yeah.
Just be like, come to Maryland, baby. We got crab. I mean, you ever seen The Wire?
Like that was his selling point.
Yeah, I don't know what they did, but they got a lot of that.
I was in.
He wasn't that, but it's always interesting when you have a guy who's like a physical freak. He's got all the tools, and then I always like, especially with a wide receiver, like to see that they do understand how to run a route. Like they understand the nuances. Maybe they're not as you'd want them to be, but they do seem to. Like, especially when they have physical gifts, because in college, if you're a freak athlete, do you really need to learn all the nuances to run a route? You can kind of just get by. Like, unless you want to be great. And like, but that tells me he actually gave a shit.
Right.
At least to an extent, you know? So I don't know. I mean, they don't even need a receiver. Like they have. So whatever he is
well. That's the thinking is that he's the third now. If you know
at most, like can
you imagine
Jalen Naylor's fine.
You had Jefferson and your other boy taking
and
the
Addison,
top off,
yeah, like and Hawkinson, like okay, fine,
yeah.
Like this guy could be something. If he's not, who cares?
Yeah, but I'm gonna draw the opposing team's nickel every time. Like, all right, let me.
Yeah, if this guy runs 4.3, like
Uh-huh.
even if he can't run a route, which I think he can, or he can't make a contested catch, run a 9 route. He's just going to streak down the field and blow past everybody while Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson take everyone over the middle. Like, okay,
Yeah, it's
fine.
a great position to be in.
Yeah, maybe he has 30 catches all year. Fine.
Yeah, but you know how great you
and 8 touchdowns because they're 60-yard bombs every time. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd be so happy as a Minnesota fan with that.
Of course. Like that's like that felt like a luxury pick. But again, because both of our teams have such stacked rosters.
Well, dynamite transition, my friend. Tesla was our luxury pick. Where
I really liked. I can't believe they let the league. Like, who was it? Who's your like third wide receiver? I can't remember his name. You picked him up the other day, last year.
Yeah, either Patrick or Raymond Felton.
I think it's Patrick.
Yeah,
I remember.
Who's like 6'3".
Steve, he's at the 30. Palazzo, he's at the 3013 now. Used to be on PFF's main show, and I remember he has like this tweet that he kept always like retweeting. It's like, how did the league let this happen when you guys signed Patrick? And like every time he did something, like how did you all let this happen? And that's how I felt about the Tesla thing. I'm like, how did you all fucking let this happen? You sons of bitches! Like, how did you let this happen?
I mean, my man, 6'1", 220, and then they described him as a big receiver. I was like, is that big?
Oh, he's more than 6'1". Isn't he like 6'3"?
Are you talking about Patrick? I was talking
about
No, Patrick's like approaching 6'4". He's like 6'3" and 3/4.
But no, isn't Tesla like 6'3"?
Is he really?
I think he's like 6'3" and runs like a 4.3 or something. Like he's a freak.
He was. Right? He was in Arkansas, which probably rather run.
Who's Arkansas's quarterback? Like, you have to look at that a lot.
I'm gonna say Bill Clinton. Am I close?
What? I think it was. I mean, Hillary was the OC, so pulling the strings. But
Woo Pig Suey.
Isn't that insane that Bill Clinton came from Arkansas? Like that fucking gutter, nothing, disgusting southern state. Sorry if you're in Arkansas, but you know you suck.
I have no problem with Arkansas.
Yeah, but you never go there.
Oh, I'm busy.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
You got any closing thoughts for me?
No, not really. I mean, like, draft grades are a joke. Like, this was all a joke.
I know. It was the most fun, though. I enjoyed talking about it with you because, like I said, let's go shopping. And, like, I go, well, we got an F here. I go, let me find an A. And then it makes strange bedfellows because I go, like, a place that, all right, I'm just going to say it, Bleacher Report, eat a dick. And I go,
Bleacher Report. It's, hey, another slideshow.
I was going to ask you.
Bunch of fucking hacks, Bleacher Report.
You are
Bleacher Report. I get it. We're in the algorithm. SEO. Woo. Fuck you. You're doing nothing.
You're so much more online.
You are a detriment to sports, Bleacher Report. You are making things worse because people don't have time and they look at your bullshit that you pass off as a thing. And you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You pay your writers like $8 a day, like an article. Like, you don't pay them anything. They don't give a shit because you don't give a shit.
I knew I could get you riled.
Yeah.
But it just makes me laugh so hard when they go, all right, well, who had the listicle first? Was it them or was it like BuzzFeed?
Yeah, they're just the BuzzFeed of sports. Like, they're nothing. And they know they don't know. They think they're fucking whatever.
What do you? You're more in the industry. Like, you ever meet someone like, oh, he's a writer. I was like, oh no shit, sports writer. What's your publication? Bleacher Report. I go,
I respect someone more. Well, I don't shit on people who do it because it's like paycheck. Like,
oh, dude,
do what you got to do. But
$8 an article.
If you're gonna brag about being a Bleacher Report writer, like, no, I'm probably gonna respect more of like an independent blog.
Well, what's the old Daniel Taj joke where she goes, I'm a model on Instagram? You go, well, I'm a soldier on Call of Duty. That's being a journalist on fucking Bleacher Report.
Yeah, You're not a fucking journalist. You're nothing. That's nothing. What you're churning out is bullshit. Your Screen Rant, your fucking bad big fucking robot, whatever the fuck all those bullshit movie sites are. That's nothing.
It does amuse me though.
We're really ending on a high note.
So I knew as soon as I pulled the pin on the grenade and rolled it in. Hey,
I
John,
know. I was all ready to like sign off nice and easy, and
nope. Hans,
you had
this
to
one says
lob
Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report in my fucking face.
With predictable results. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
For
I
not
like that you knew
disappointing.
exactly how
Thank
I'd
you for
respond
not-
to that because we've never actually talked about Bleacher Report.
Oh, I know how you feel about football, and I know how you feel about them.
Yeah, it's just funny. I'm so easily angered. Like the Mel Kipers and Bleacher Reports and First Takes make me fucking furious. Oh man! All right. Next week, I'm still working on it. I'm thinking about bringing on a Bears guest to talk about their draft because nothing's fucking happening.
Oh,
So I thought maybe we'd get another NFC North perspective.
done.
I'm still working on that and logistics and everything, but if it doesn't happen next week, it'll happen soon. So that's something to look forward to.
And I have a gentleman waiting in the wings, extremely knowledgeable about all things NFC North. So we can bring him on for a broader, just an expanded view of what we're talking about because we've been both very Vikings line centric.
Yeah, so I mean that's the show, but like it started off, we were gonna do the whole North because I mean the North is the best division in football, and like that's not even a question; it's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that they like they did the AFC North. I think it was last year, like the in-season Hard Knocks.
Oh yeah,
that has to be NFC North, right? It has to be.
There's no choice.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that happens. Anyways, all right. Yeah, well, all that'll be like in show description, blah blah blah, all that bullshit. This is fun. You got anything else?
No, man, I loved it.
All right. Well,